Good morning this morning. Hey, we're looking at the key list for Wednesday, October 11th. Let's just go through this. I haven't done this kind of video in a while. Jim was just asking me about it, and I posted the one that I did back in July, but I thought we had some time this morning. PPI is coming out in just a few minutes. We'll see how that shakes the market. Hopefully it won't do too much, and we're up a little bit this morning. Futures are up. So as I frame up the market this morning, I like what I see so far, right? Futures are up. YM's up. The Dow is up 81. The S&P is up 11.5. The NQs are up 55. So looking okay. I will look to that PPI number at the bottom of the hour to determine what that does and how it affects those numbers. I take a little bit of a snapshot of those and keep that in mind as we move forward into the morning, into the pre-market. So let's go through the key list. First one up on the list is SMCI, Supermicro. Had a nice move yesterday. It's gapping up a little bit this morning. 15-minute chart on the left shows the pre-market action. The daily on the right does not show any pre-market action. So let's take a look over here and see this is the action this morning. This line divides last night from this morning. So we've got a little bit of a pop this morning. I don't look at this and say, oh, gee, it popped and then it pulled back a little bit in pre-market. No, I just look at the fact that we're going to gap up a little bit. Closed about 310. And we're going to gap up to about 314. So I would look at that. I'd put that on my list as a gap play. I would look at it to play along. I don't typically short these products, especially in a good market, right? I mean, there's no reason to try and go counter trend. So I look to go long the product over a 15-minute bar or over a 5-minute bar. If old business seems to be taken care of quickly, you can kind of feel that in the market, how fast things are moving when the market first opens. You kind of get in line with it and then make a decision as to whether or not you take that over a 5-minute bar or over a 15. Certainly more aggressive over a 5, but if you wait for the 15, sometimes you can miss the move. The way I look at it, hey, if I take it long over a 5-minute bar and I'm wrong, I get out. I get out fast. So, just keep that in mind that sometimes these trades are very quick in the morning. Sometimes you have to go into correction mode and say, hey, I need to fix what I just did. That's okay, but just know that sometimes that happens. All right, so I'll look to play that as a gap play this morning. We'll see how that opens. Next one up on the list is Carpenter Tech. Carpenter Tech looks like it's gapping down this morning. So big move yesterday, gapped up yesterday. Let's just zoom in here just a little bit. So gapped up, big move up, closed in the middle of the range. The trigger price on this is 72.70. I can't get real excited about that. It'd be just something I'll just kind of keep an eye on for over the course of the day. But nothing that I see to do with it right now, especially given the fact that it's going to gap down just a little bit. No, it's not. I'm sorry, it's not. There's no pre-market action on this at all. So it's going to open right about where it closed. Some stocks do not have pre-market action. Palo Alto. Alrighty, Palo Alto is gapping up just a little bit. Again, the whole market is gapping up just a little bit. So, this is the kind of thing we'd expect with stocks market leaders, and that's what we deal with, mostly market leaders. And so again, I'll look at this and I'll play this as a gap play, look at it and say, hey, maybe I could get this long over a 5-minute bar. But, it's hard to set buy stops on stuff that gaps. I don't like to do it because, it gaps up, pops and then drops. So anyway, that's just kind of the, my thinking on that. Alrighty. Next up is GWRE software. Software has been strong, right? Software is one of the top 10 groups. I know the group is strong because it's toward the top of the key list, and the key list is in order by group strength. So I know it's in a higher group. I just don't know what group it's in. I could go over to MarketSmith and take a look, but if memory serves, I think this has been okay. So I like these tops. I like the way this is, I like the way this is going along here. It's, creating these tops. I'm not real crazy about these tail bars, but that's what the market's been giving us recently. So what's my risk going to be on something like this? Well, if I get in at the trigger, which is 92.70, so I got to wait till it gets up to about right there. My stop is going to be down here around 91.20, so about $1.50 risk on a roughly $100 product. I can get in line with that. I like that. I'll put a buy stop on that and see how that trades. We're not doing anything pre-market. It's not trading pre-market. This is the shaded area, so we'll just have to see how that works out after the market opens. But I'll put a buy stop on that to see how that works. DUOL. All righty, let's see. Is anything happening in the... Let's just switch over here to the ES real quick. It looks like we were up about 11 and a quarter, and now we're just going to pull back a little bit. Apparently it's just after 7:30, so the PPI has been released. So we'll just kind of see how that moves the market. Looks like we're pulling back just a little bit on it. So hopefully we don't hopefully it doesn't throw us out of whack today. Gapping up. ACM Research is gapping up this morning. Big move yesterday. Let's see, where's my trigger price on this? $20 even. Makes sense. A penny over this high. $20, and my stop would have to be, I'd have to sell at least half the position at 19. So I've got $1 risk on a $20 product. It's tough on those, especially with this big move. I wish that bar was not so tall. I wish we could buy it right here, right? That's what would have been nice, to be able to get it there and have a little bit less risk. So I'm going to go on to the next one. PETQ. PETQ's been good to us, gapping up pretty good this morning. Look at that. Closed at 22.38, and it's gapping up to about 22.90 roughly right at this moment. So we'll put this in the gap list, and we'll decide whether or not to buy that over a 5-minute bar. We'll just see how things shake out this morning. Looks like the ES is firming up just a little bit. Next one up is Facebook, Meta, whatever you want to call it. Gapping up just a little bit. I'm always looking for something to do with Facebook or with Meta. So I've got, looks like I've got 2 shares left from, that's how, you can get down to 2 shares the way we trade. We keep selling 20%, 20%, and 20%, and you just keep selling and selling and selling. And so that's eventually we're down to 2 shares, down to 1 share. Man, I hate to let it go. I assume this is my entire position. I don't know. I'd have to go look, but it's funny how that does work out. So don't be afraid to trade small in this market. Keep your fingers in the market. Keep your attention to it. Even if you only do 10 or 15 or 20 shares, it keeps you in sync with what's going on, and I think that's real important. I'll do that just to stay in touch with what's going on, and then as things move, we'll increase size. All right, next up. So I will look at doing something with Meta this morning. 324.70, 324.70. Got to wait for it to get up to right in this range, and my stop would be, I'd probably put it down here around 320. Roughly a $4 risk on a $300 product. A little bit more than I'd like to do. But what do I know about Meta? It's a max list stock, and it can move. Now, if things get squirrely early, and I get filled, and the market starts to pull back, and look, the overall market starts to look funky, I'll exit this trade. I won't stay in it, but you've got to have a little bit of space for it to run. So just got to keep that in mind if you don't want to risk that, essentially 1%, right? We're risking about 1%. Then, just go on to the next one. But I do like max list stocks. I know that surprises everybody. All right, Stride. Stride is sold off a little bit yesterday. Topping tail, our trigger price is $46. Yeah, I'll just set alert on that. Lots of topping tails up there. It's okay. Now, there's not real clean tops here. I mean, it's fine, and I'm sure it's vetted, but let's see if we can find something. And don't think for a second that, just because I pass it by, it's not going to work. It may very well work. It's just my personal preference. All righty. NVIDIA. Yeah, I have a position in this from just a few days ago. So just moving right up this slope, right up this line. I like this, and I will put a buy stop on this. It's gapping up just a little bit this morning, and the reason it is because let's see, 462.60, 462. So right in that range, right about there. So that's okay. I like that. I'll add it to my existing position. And what does Pat have on here for? He doesn't have it as an add-on, which makes sense because it's across these tops, somewhat across these tops, right? We're taking out some previous highs, not in their entirety right away, but again, we play these things a little bit tighter because we really, how much we know about the way this stock can move. I mentioned in the live session the other day how when this thing's triggering, I want to be in. That's just my objective. I want to be in, and I kind of like this pre-market action. I wish it wasn't gapping up all that much, but if it does open just a little bit below 462.60, which is the trigger, I'll be in pretty much right at the open. Okay. Always looking for things like NVIDIA. Alrighty, so I think I'll just stop there. There's no reason to go through the whole list. You get the idea. The idea is you go through these stock by stock and define your risk profile and determine if it's acceptable, if it fits within your trading plan, and factor in the other variables. The variables being max list stocks, gap plays. And just get a plan built for the day. That's critically important to do that, and stay in the market, stay involved, even if it's only a few shares, just to stay involved, to get a feel for how the thing is moving, what's happening. It's so difficult to stand back from it and just say, well, I'm just going to wait for the market to correct itself and get right and start moving, and then I'll do it. Yeah, that's tough, and I know that from experience how tough that is. So stay involved with it. If you're going to do this for a living, if you're going to do this as a business, stay in sync with the market. That's probably the best advice I can give. All right, have a good day, and I will talk with you soon.